Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is JGod and today we're going to be doing a subscriber breakdown, and today's subscriber that we're going to be featuring is Taylor Morgan. And as you can see, he went down in the comment section of one of my videos and put that hashtag review. And just a heads up, his video got selected because it matched the criteria down in the description below. So if you'd be interested in having your gameplay featured, make sure you check out the description, follow the steps, do that hashtag review, and you can get your gameplay broken down as well. Typically, I do this on the channel where I go ahead and take a subscriber's gameplay and provide feedback on ways they can actually improve, in addition to my other Call of Duty content that I actually post, which is related to in-game updates, news, best class setups, and then other tip and trick videos. Any of that sounds interesting, make sure you subscribe and turn those notifications on. If at any point you do enjoy the video, remember to hit that like button. I would appreciate if we get this video to 300 likes. And let's go ahead and get into the breakdown. So you can see right here, he's running the Commando division, but it's not quite leveled up all the way because he's only running Blitzkrieg and doesn't have that second basic training. As far as the attachments go, he's running the Volk, the Gold 2 variant. And then he actually has extended mags, rapid fire, and a bayonet. Has a launcher, sticky nade, and then he has that paratrooper insert. So 9 times out of 10, I would tell people to not use the bayonet, but you're going to see he gets a ton of bayonet kills. Probably the most I've seen since before the division update, when it was mandatory to have a bayonet on your rifles if you ran the infantry class. And speaking of the bayonet, as he comes around this corner right here, he should have actually pushed the engagement and used the bayonet, primarily since he has it equipped, but also the secondary part of that is because the hipfire spread on the Volk is not amazing. Keep in mind that I'm going to go through this entire video and break down different elements, and some of the elements reappear. For the most part, there's a lot of different elements at play here, and I'm going to touch on everything and give some recommendations. Like right here, he gets in this gunfight, and he ends up pulling the trigger the entire time. Doesn't let go of that ADS. Typically, you want to burst fire, especially at that range. If you're missing a lot of those shots, you're going to want to go ahead and set up the shot again and try to be as accurate as possible. The other element right there is he's not strafing. You can see he doesn't really strafe, and because he doesn't strafe, you can see he wiggles the crosshairs a bunch, and then he's also an easier target to hit because he's basically standing still. In the next little sequence, he shows off the bayonet again, and then he gets that fire protection that the Commando provides. You can see he got shot with the fire shotgun, but since he bayoneted the guy, the healing process started, and he was able to survive that encounter. So he's able to take this map control, and this is a position I really love. And one of the main benefits from this position is you can actually peek the window in this little doorway back and forth and get a sight line into the enemy spawn. Where he's standing is not a good spot, so this is probably not where I'd be standing. I'd be standing all the way to the right where he kind of peeks right here, get a sight line into the spawn, back up into the window, and kind of rotate back and forth, and then you hold that map control. Right here, these people were able to come out of the library, and you can see that he doesn't strafe yet again. He's basically not strafing that gunfight. I don't know how he didn't die right there, but the teammates ended up cleaning him up. They were coming up on the mini-map. If he held down that little room, he would have had a little bit better protection. He could have peeked into the library to the left. Then he would have been able to peek through that right side where the doorway peeks into the spawn, and then just kind of rotated back and forth so he covered himself. Right here, he goes on an amazing bayonet spree. So when it comes to a class setup, I probably would not drop the bayonet. I'd probably swap out rapid fire and put either high caliber, grip, or a sight on the weapon, because the bigger issue that I see is that accuracy. He tends to miss a bunch of shots, and not because his sensitivity is too high, it's just because he's aiming down sight for too long and holding that trigger for too long. The rapid fire, I'm sure, contributes a little bit to that. But we're going to see again, he ends up in this position where he has a very poor sight line. He gets lucky here that the teammate has the S-mine, because odds are he was going to die. But you're going to see, instead of peeking the window and peeking the sight line that I'm talking about that peeks in the spawn, he ends up just hanging out in this left area. He ends up sound horning. You can hear the person's footsteps come around. He turns around, it's too late to have a shotgun. But based on the movements that I'm recommending for that little spot, that shotgunner would have never been able to close that distance. We are just about at the halfway point. If you are enjoying the video, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you are enjoying the content. And make sure you follow those directions down in the description below if you want to get your gameplay reviewed. So right here, he goes on another little bayonet spree. And then you can see he ends up taking these guys out pretty easily. And the score per minute is pretty high in this moment, that he probably would have already had a recon plane. You can see he's barely cycling his kills, ends up with 3 kills right here where he would have already had his recon plane. So now he has a recon plane, and it kind of cycles through here. And the big problem I see here is he's not using the YY triangle trick. And if you're not familiar with the trick I'm talking about, it basically is when you pull out your actual recon plane, you got to pull out that little telephone thing. The second that telephone comes up, you'll press YY or triangle depending on the platform you're on, and it'll automatically pull out your weapon while still calling in the streak, so you save that little bit of time. Although in that scenario you probably would have died anyways, it's just still a good habit to get into. Right here, I wanted to point out something. You can see his teammate is about to die. Comes out of the trolley, you see he gets shot, and instead of kind of posting up, taking a different angle, he just runs right in, gets absolutely demolished. 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose that engagement because there's two people there, you're pinched, they already had a good sideline where they killed your teammate. It's not a good look. So it's cues like that from the mini-map and other audio cues that give you a little bit more map awareness that you just got to be able to execute. And being honest, that just takes a lot of practice. So not much happens in this little next section, so I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit so we get to the point that I want to talk about. And this next little section is all around map awareness again. You're going to see he has his Molotovs. He's going to throw them to the library. So the library should be covered and all the emphasis should be put to the left side on the other side across from where his teammates are. He decides to jump out of middle, no cover, ends up just jumping out, gets demolished. The appropriate thing to probably take the head glitch on the sandbag or push through the library. In that particular case, all the enemies were on the left side, so it didn't work out for him. And a general rule of thumb for the vast majority of maps is to avoid the middle at all costs. You either want to go up the right lane or the left lane because all maps are pretty much 3-lane maps. You want to stay in the right lane or the left lane and pretty much stick to those two routes. In this next little scenario, he could have actually taken advantage of the head glitch from these sandbags just to the right of him. You see the guy comes out, he ends up getting the kill on the guy, and then there are people right around him. That was ended up being a paratrooper. Instead of just coming up and peeking this actual doorway, he walks right into the open and ends up getting destroyed. And most people are going to die in that scenario just because it's not a very smart play in the moment. You want to take advantage of the cover you have because you kind of have an idea where the enemies are coming from. They're coming from that doorway. So all you need to do is stand up, head glitch those sandbags. The guy would have ran out. You would have got an easy double kill. For this next scenario, it has to go back to knowing your spawns. Right here, all the spawns are pushing from that back corner. He's going to end up pushing up. He sees someone on the left, gets a little bit thirsty, decides to chase. There's two people coming around on the right side behind him, ends up destroying him. That should be the priority focus. You should have backed up a little bit, or the other option is to actually push the spawn and gone in that direction. The worst possible thing was to stand right in the middle is exactly what he did. And that's the type of thing that you got to consciously acknowledge until it becomes a habit, because it will take a lot of practice of understanding the spawns, where positioning works best, where the flow of the map works, so you can actually make sure you maximize those scenarios. So pretty much the only other thing he's going to repeat again is going back to the middle of the map and ends up getting completely destroyed. You guys will spot that while he's playing. But I want to give a few recommendations. I'd switch to ordnance, drop the Molotovs, just run a recon, counter recon, fighter plane, because he wasn't able to get the paratroopers. You want to put on streaks that you will get every single match, or at least 80 to 90% of your matches. Since he didn't get a paratrooper in this match, I would guess that he doesn't get them on the regular. He's hoping to get those, especially in TDM. I wouldn't put those as high of a streak unless you know you're going to be able to get those. By switching to ordnance, you're going to be able to cycle through your streaks a lot faster. You run recon, counter recon, fighter plane. And if you struggle to get kills with the fighter pilot, you're going to want to watch one of my tutorials. I did two separate ones. I think the second one's a little bit better, but all in all, they're going to give you information how you can maximize those kills. So hopefully you guys found the breakdown helpful. If you did, remember to hit that like button and subscribe. Turn notifications on if you're brand new to the channel. See you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a great day.